All right, guys, welcome. My name is Soda. This here's Dawson, Aaron. We have Alex on the podcast. This is the very first episode of a sports podcast we're going to be running called Cover 4 Sports, where four guys get together and cover like two sports. All right, so we're going to start out today by covering some teams in the league, the NFL, that are kind of dog shit, that have previously been, to higher standards than what we currently hold them at. So, formidably still or terminally ill. Alex, what you got?
Yeah, so for my segment here, I think we need to talk about Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's be honest. On the field alone, not looking great, but we got Brady's in a divorce situation now. We got Gronk keeps saying he's gonna come back, but we got nothing on that, and I don't even think who caught a pass. Did Cole Beasley catch a pass for them?
He just
last
retired.
week?
He just
retired, and then retired. Caught a pass last week and then retired. So I mean, we got a team, in my opinion. I mean, these guys are in shambles, right? I mean, Tom Brady's got no focus left. They got no one to throw the ball to.
Well, they
that
got
defense
Mike Evans coming back. They got Godwin coming back.
Well, they got him coming back, but I mean, how long are they out? I mean, Godwin was supposed to. He wasn't supposed to play the first game. Comes out and leaves in the first half. So I mean, we've got issues. I mean, I'm off the bat, I'm saying terminally ill. Here we got a defense out there in Tampa Bay, but we got nothing on the other side of the ball. And Tom Brady has to age at some point.
Can't ever doubt the GOAT, man.
I mean, I'll put it like this: if you take one of the top run defenses in the league with pretty decent pass coverage, you get one of the best wide receivers who missed the game because he wanted to throw hands to protect his quarterback, as well as
basically
a solid. Wide
does not like Lattimore.
But that's you expect that every year, though.
A solid wide receiver in Chris Godwin that played okay.
He played last week, though,
and last week he played
they say
okay.
he still has a hamstring injury, but
exactly. But I mean,
he's
he got out there and he got the work done. You have wide receivers coming back. You have a big, hefty, dominant running back in Leonard Fournette, and then you have Rashad White, who, is getting some passes out of the backfield. You have, an elite quarterback in Tom Brady, who, maybe he's going through a divorce, but at the same time, his fucking Twitter handle is, family and football. He just cut out the family, so it's all about football right now, if you ask me.
Okay, so you got Leonard Fournette's formidable now. He's on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When he was in Jacksonville, they sold him for a song. So, let's not
anybody
even
that's
talk
Tom
about
Brady's
it. Yeah, anyone's got Tom Brady. When they're afraid of him throwing, you can run through giant holes. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And you got to look at the teams they've played. No offense to the Cowboys fans present, but, your offense isn't very formidable.
But our defense is very formidable.
Yeah, but what was that game? 9-0?
That's the most points any team has put up against the Cowboys defense this year.
Oh my god, and it was barely any. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And last week, they broke out. The offense broke out against the Kansas City Chiefs. Are you kidding me? Name someone on their defense. No. So I'm I'll let everyone have an opinion on it, but no
Watch out.
For me, completely terminally ill.
Fair. Okay.
Well, so do we say that this game coming up this week is a turning point for Tampa Bay, or do we think this will solidify that?
Well, in my point, yeah, I think so. Who are they playing this week?
Atlanta. They're playing Atlanta this week.
Yeah, they lose to Atlanta.
So then I say if they lose to Atlanta, it's terminally ill.
Yeah, very.
We live in a world where Marcus Mariota beats Tom Brady. I just don't want to live in this world.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That means the team's done, and Giselle's got a new boyfriend. Right. It might be Marcus Mariota. Let's be honest.
Her standards are higher than that.
Yeah, she's got sent.
Nah, it's probably Antonio Brown.
You'll see the tweet that Zach Wilson put out as soon as the divorce got final or announced or whatever. Zach Wilson gets on Twitter and he's like, Giselle, don't worry, I got you.
Oh my god, he did not really.
No, this is the same guy that's trying to date all of his other players' moms.
His
you heard
roommates'
about that whole
moms.
scandal before the
God.
season, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Zach Wilson for MVP.
Except he can't play.
Yeah. No. All right. So I think in general, it looks like Dawson's wait and see on the Falcons.
Yeah.
I'm on terminally ill. What about you guys?
I would say formidably still. It's hard to put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out of it with the team they have and the fact that the NFC is kind of pathetic compared to the AFC. Yeah. And I think their playoffs is pretty much a lock for Tampa Bay. And that's all you need to do is make the tournament.
Sure. Aaron?
Yeah, I'm not going to give up on Tom Brady yet. He's proven over and over again that he can't come out.
Yeah. That's fair. I am pretty biased. I hate that.
He was keeping him afloat without Godwin and Mike Evans, and he's getting them back. So I still feel like and their defense is too good.
Yeah, I learned something new that Cole Beasley retired. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that was a crazy one.
No, he's retired. He's definitely going on the upside.
Yeah.
Look, he saw what was going on with Brady and Giselle. He's like, I gotta focus on my family.
He really did say that too.
Yeah, coming back, this could lead to divorce
Yeah, you know,
quick.
Father Time. If
Yeah.
I learned anything from this week being with the Bucs, Father Time's important.
Right? Yeah. That's true.
For sure.
Which
All
was
right.
awesome.
So yeah, let's hop into
Plus,
the
he
next
knew he wasn't
team.
getting any targets after they came back.
Formidably still or terminally ill? Who you got, Nelson?
I'm gonna say Vegas.
Okay.
And I mean, they had so much to prove coming into this season. I mean, last season they made the playoffs. We saw how that went. And yeah, and coming into the season, you get Devontae Adams, Derek Carr. They played back in college, so there was a lot of high expectations going into this season with Vegas. And I would say terminally ill going straight out because I mean, we see them are what 1-3 now. They got their last win. Their first win last week
Against the helpless Broncos.
Yeah,
Speaking
exactly.
of terminally ill, I mean, but no, I mean, so I was actually at that game, believe it or not. So in Vegas this weekend, I went to the game, and I got to tell you, he didn't look good on TV, and he does not look good on the field. You know, when he had, I actually think I looked at the stats, and he had 1/4 of his passing yards were his rushing yards. He had 40 rushing yards, which is insane for Derek Carr. He's the slowest man on earth. I promise you that.
So then Tom Brady?
Okay. Well, Tom Brady had himself a nice run last week. I saw that one, and it broke his brace on his leg when he tried to slide, so he clearly isn't comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But no, I would say, Derek Carr, he looks terrible. Can't hit a guy anywhere in the numbers. I mean, everything are all hand catches and stuff like that. And we got a dog barking here. Apologies to the crowd.
She's upset about what you're saying.
Yeah, really passionate about Vegas.
Yeah, she's really bad. Yeah, she knows how terminal they are. Just barking.
Don't talk that way about Derek Carr.
Yeah. But in all honesty, I mean, Devontae just doesn't look formidable with him, and it's because they can't throw it to him. And how is Mac Hollins their best wide receiver? The Dolphins cut him.
I mean,
I'd
like to touch on that a little bit. I mean, you get a guy like Devontae Adams, who's Aaron Rodgers' like fucking lock and key, just taken away from Green Bay, brought over here to Vegas, and you have a week 3 where Mac Hollins is getting 150 something yards because.
And all the targets. I mean,
the target share is so dismal for Devontae Adams, it's actually absurd. Like, when you have such an elite wide receiver that's absolutely dominating in coverage, I don't care if it's press coverage, I don't care if it's 1-on-2, you throw the ball to your best guy. And when they do, 9 times out of 10, Devontae Adams is making a spectacular catch. Nevertheless, we have Mac Hollins with Hunter Renfrow out making a submergence. We have Josh Jacobs running through the field, and we hardly see one of the best players that they've acquired in this offseason doing what they're best at. The defense feels dismal. They've been out of a lot of these games.
Even with Max Crosby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how do you let the fighting Kyler Murrays come back from what was that fucking 13
bad.
down with like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. And what did he run, like 170 yards on a 2-point conversion? Get these guys on the ground. I mean, even the defense, which is supposed to be the backbone of that team, has really disappointed her.
My favorite part of that game was like they threw it to Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow fumbles. They managed to recover, and they're like, "That was really fucking close. This is overtime. It's time to get serious.
Got to get it back to Hunter Renfrow.
Right back to Hunter Renfrow. The next play, Hunter Renfrow fumbles again, taken to the house.
I mean, this is why when you're out playing for Bill Belichick and you fumble, you hit the sideline real fast. Because when you let him stay out there, that's what happens.
Yeah.
But
I mean, granted, the man's injured. Sorry, Hunter Renfrow, if you ever see this, but
yeah. But I'll say, I'm on terminally ill.
I have to agree. I'm terminally ill on the Raiders this year.
Aaron?
Yeah, I don't see much of a future for them.
Yeah.
As long as they have.
Well, in the hardest division in
Yeah.
football, although, I mean,
Yeah.
Broncos aren't what we thought they were, but, you got the Chargers and the
NFC
Chiefs.
East, record-wise, is the
and
hardest division in football.
Yeah. and the AFC is just a killer, so yeah. No, I think we're all on the same page. Go ahead and bury him.
Not much hope for them.
Yeah. All right. So, Aaron, who we got?
I've got the Rams.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Defending Super Bowl champs. They lost Von Miller. Their defense is very susceptible. They got Aaron Donald getting double teamed, every play, and they still can't get a pass rush. So you got 2 people on one guy, and you still can't get to the quarterback. I think them losing Von Miller on defense really hurt them this year, and he's really helping out the Bills this year. So I think that was an integral part of their defense that they're missing out on. And then on the offensive side, they lost Whitworth, their left tackle that had been there for who knows how long, like 5-10 years. He's been there forever. He's been a staple on that offensive line.
Actually.
Yeah, he was like in his 40s still playing for them. But no, he was a real big veteran like leadership role for that team. I really thought that he brought the offensive line together. And I think they're on their third string center right now, and then one of the guards is like the backup. So their offensive line is getting destroyed right now, which is why I'm excited for this Cowboy game coming up because I think they're gonna wear them out. And they haven't been effective at running the ball at all this year, and just a lot of things that made them really good last year they're not able to do this year. And I don't know if it's that injury that Stafford has or if it's an injury, but something seems to be affecting him because I think his average throw downfield is like 6 yards attempt right now.
Yeah, he's just not
which
swinging
is
it. It doesn't have the whip,
Yeah, he's not able to throw it deep either. They're using Cooper Kupp a lot, but in a run game, pass game, everything. But they're all like really short gains, and if you can just keep the offense in front of you on defense, you're gonna probably come out with the victory.
Well, yeah, and watching that Monday night game last week, you got
they look terrible.
They're so short on their passes. You got cornerbacks jumping screen passes and taking them to the house. Yeah. I mean, if you have no respect at all,
that's true.
That has to be an example of it there. To be like, I'm going to jump behind the line of scrimmage to cover somebody because I know you're not going on the end.
He hasn't thrown it deep like all year.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And you have to wonder about this team. Von Miller's been huge in Buffalo. Everyone said he was washed up. Maybe it's Stafford that's washed up. I mean, and
he's not getting the time either. He's getting destroyed back there.
Would we stem it back to that injury though?
Well,
could that be part of the problem that he's not throwing it downfield?
To say, but he got surgery on that. Now he came out and said that he feels better at the beginning of this year than he felt all last year.
I'd like to talk to the doctor.
Well, you know how the UNCs are nowadays, right?
Yeah, you gotta say, it's all perception.
Yeah, right.
I mean, but no, I've seen a lot from this team early in the year. Their wins have been over pretty bad teams, and they've been close. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of something that you worry about. You also look at Jalen Ramsey. I don't know if he thinks. Like, hey, I've been crowned the best, so now I am the best, and I don't have to play like it because he got toasted by the Bills.
Oh yeah.
Although last week he didn't get targeted once.
Well, Jimmy G ain't playing. Yeah. Like, let's be honest. Jimmy G tried to target Patrick Surtain twice in the Broncos game. He almost gave up 2 touchdowns, and of course, he stepped out of the back of the end zone and threw a pick 6 on the same play. So I mean, Jimmy G, and that's what we should really be talking about here. Are the Rams dead? They lost to fucking Jimmy G. I mean, come on. And
I think it's weird that they don't let Jalen Ramsey follow their best. Like Jalen Ramsey should have been following Debo.
Yeah, why was he not on Debo? Yeah, Debo was being guarded by linebackers.
The 2 plays that he went deep and broke free, he was on the secondary corner.
Even more than the defense, for me, this offense is just frustrating. I mean, I was done enough to draft Allen Robinson in this fucking previous draft.
When was the last time you saw Allen Robinson catch a ball and stay on his feet?
It was really frustrating.
I think it was 2015.
Because I'm pretty sure Allen Robinson, the only target I remember from Allen Robinson last week against the Niners was he ran on the outside, was wildly overthrown, and was double covered. And it was like, coach was like, all right, you've gotten your one Allen Robinson target, and now it's time to go back to treating Cooper Kupp like he's Megatron, except there's a major height difference there. And I mean, when Matt Stafford gets in trouble, he's just trying to force feed the ball to the only receiver he feels is capable on his team, regardless of whether or not there's.
Cooper Kupp might be the best wide receiver.
Absolutely.
I mean, route running, hands.
He definitely looks like on the Rams.
But I mean, I think he get the target shares
I can't tell if it's favoritism or what.
98% goes to Cooper Kupp. It's insane, unless it's a designed screen for someone else.
You have Cam Akers wildly underperforming expectations.
Dropped him.
Yeah, exactly.
Not owned in our league. Not a chance.
Across the board, I think I got to say terminally ill on the Rams. I just don't feel confident with any of this team going forward.
Yeah, I'm going to have to stick with terminally ill as well.
Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah.
Gentlemen?
What do you think? Terminally ill, or you like him still? Oh.
I'm gonna stay with them.
Okay.
I think there's a little bit of hope for the Rams. It's still early in the season, and I feel like they just have some key injuries that they need to get figured out.
People get a little healthier.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm gonna stay with them. I'm gonna see how they play the next couple games, and then I'll go from there. But I'm gonna stay with them for sure.
All right.
Cooper Rush won't change your mind.
Yeah.
Michael Parsons destroys the
All right. Yeah, and Aaron, you started the segment, but did you? What did we say? Ill?
Terminally ill.
Yeah, he's like, I gave up on them weeks ago. All right.
After that 49ers game.
The team that I decided to run with, I chose the Cincinnati Bengals because I wanted to pick a team that is in shambles that I could still feel confident saying formidably still. Here's one. And I'm going to go ahead and get that out there. I'm on formidably still. The Bengals look like trash compared to their previous gameplay. I mean, you have a team that made it to the Super Bowl and was one Aaron Donald sack away from hitting Jamar Chase down the seams and winning the whole goddamn thing. And they come out this season and they start off with L's against Cooper Rush and Mitch Trubisky. And I got to say, that's pretty rough. But if you look at the defenses he's played on the other side of the football with those terrible quarterbacks, I mean, you have some pretty formidable opponents they played. It's been pretty
They beat
rough.
the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, they beat the Jets. Zach Wilson, MVP. They've been in some pretty tough game scripts of deficits that they've kind of caused themselves. But when you look at the talent on this team, I mean, you have former LSU quarterback and Joe Burrow, who's literally in the Super Bowl after an ACL tear just last year. He may not look like himself completely yet, but I think in the first 4 weeks coming out of like the latter of the first 2 weeks, he feels like he's starting to get some traction in his offense again.
I think he's getting more comfortable.
Yeah, so I'm smoking a cigar after Thursday night game.
Yeah. So that's a good sign.
Offensive line is still dismal. I mean, if anything, it feels like it's worse than last year. They boasted about how they
got La'el Collins.
Yeah, they got La'el Collins, but look at what's been going down.
Yeah,
the offensive line has been looking putrid. But I gotta say, if you look at the wide receivers on this team between T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Jamar Chase, you look at Joe Mixon in the backfield and the star quarterback. I gotta feel okay with this team going forward because I mean they're just a team that maybe they've taken some L's, but they're teams that I feel like can still stay in this game. Like Jamar Chase has not been playing to the level of Jamar Chase that we all expected coming into the season, but you know who has? T. Higgins. T. Higgins has come right out there and has been torching up defense throughout the season.
It's got to be a result of a double team or something. I mean, T. Higgins is running wide open.
I mean, sure,
the games I've watched. I mean, you got to make sure Jamar Chase doesn't get the ball. So I agree. I mean, he'll come around. Because defenses can't do this forever. I mean, T. Higgins is putting up like 180 yards a game. I mean, you got to start letting people guard who's available.
For sure.
Right?
The only thing that worries me for the Bengals is the Ravens. Like I don't really feel much worry about the team making it to the playoffs, other than this massive roadblock in their division. But I think you have at least a wild card team out of these Bengals, no matter what.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with formidably still. I mean, it's hard here because you want to say they're terminally ill, but there's so many factors as far as if you look at the history of the NFL, what happens to a team that loses the Super Bowl. You come out flat. You think you fixed the one problem, like the offensive line,
yeah.
and then you wind up with 50 fucking sacks in the first 3 games. I mean, it's horrible,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you're reeling, you're wondering, can we really get back because we're not any better than we were last year? And you settle down. You're like, hey, we are pretty good. The win on Thursday night, right? Vegas had, Cincinnati so favored over Miami in that game. I mean, everyone just knew why.
The Tua injury.
It changed the game, but the Dolphins didn't look good to start with in that one. And Joe was calm, cool, and collected. They call him Cool Joe.
Cool Joe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Cool.
and I'll tell you that, and the Dolphins have a really good defense, and they weren't able to get to him that game. So, I mean, the offensive line, I think, is getting slowly better. You got to get some continuity there. It's never good when you pick up the Cowboys' trash and think it's your big signing. But, I think overall the team has too much talent to push back forward. And with that division, I mean, don't get me wrong, Lamar Jackson looks great, but God, the Ravens defense is getting torched. Mm-hmm. And they're losing games they should win. I think John Harbaugh needs to stop listening to that analytics guy because, kick a fucking field goal once in a while. I mean, so in general, they're in an easier division as far as the AFC goes because there's a lot of tough divisions in the AFC. I think, we're talking about, if we're talking about making it to the playoffs, formidably still for sure. So,
John?
what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with both of y'all, and I'll give you one reason why. If you look at the next 7 games, the Bengals play the Ravens, the Saints, the Falcons, the Browns, the Panthers, the Steelers, the Titans. So in 7 weeks,
That's 6. That's probably 6 wins.
Yeah,
right there.
just about.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Titans might give them a run for their money because
it's going to be 6 wins. They're going to lose to the Ravens, and they're going to be 8-3 by the end of that, and that's going to get them into the playoffs.
Assuming Kenny Pickett isn't the MVP, that looks really.
As long as Joe Burrow can survive the onslaught that his offensive line allows to.
I mean, it could be 7 wins
To,
if John
destroy
Harbaugh
him.
realize that he has the best kicker in the league and maybe kick a fucking field goal instead of going for it on 4th down every play.
Well, I don't trust the Bengals defense to stop Lamar Jackson at all. But
That game has
I don't
to be
trust
shootout.
anyone to stop Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
that
no.
man's trying to get paid, baby.
Yeah.
Counterintuitively, I don't trust the Ravens defense to stop any of the Bengals.
That is also true. That game, the over in that game, boys. The over.
But yeah, I think they'll be sitting pretty in about 6 or 7 weeks. So definitely gonna make playoffs. So I would still say that they're a playoff contender, not a championship contender.
We're just gonna make it a 4P here.
Okay.
Have to.
Cover four.
Cover four.
Wait, is this a cover four?
This
We
is a
got
cover 4. This is a cover 4.
I'm editing in on these sound bites. It's going crazy right now.
No, but for sure, Formidably. I mean, they still have so many pieces on their offense that can still do really well. And I think their secondary has been playing better this season than it was last season, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there's all this talk about Eli Apple coming out there and not playing well. I mean, of course, he got torched in the Super Bowl.
When they played Trubisky, Cooper Rush, the Jets.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Their secondary better have the best stats in the league right now.
But I think
They haven't played anybody.
No. Hear me out. But I think coming up into the next 8 games, like we were just talking about, I think their secondary is going to step up. They're going to have a couple pick sixes. Maybe that's a bold prediction, but I think Cincinnati's going to step up and they're definitely going to hit the 8-3 mark for sure.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So,
All right.
looks like we all touched on something. Team we wanted to talk about. We're going to move into another segment here. This is going to be a staple of the show here, guys. So we have 3 Cowboys fans here. Dawson,
Unfortunately.
Aaron, and Soda over here. They love them Cowboys. I'm
just
a
a Mike
Dolphins
Parsons
fan, but as a Dolphins fan, AFC, I can be a bit of a level head here as we move into our next segment, which we are going to call Homer or Helpful. I'm going to drop a couple prompts to the boys here, and they're going to tell me their opinions on it and how it is, and I will judge at the end of their opinion whether that was helpful to the general public or if that was a Homer Cowboys pick right there. So we all know our Cowboys fans love to be homers. It's something they do best. So let's get into it. So I'm going to start with the first one here. We'll just go around the room. We'll start with Soda and then hit it around. So first one, is Cooper Rush really ready to take over the Cowboys? Do you put the $50 million man on the bench, and do you take the Cooper Rush crush, man? The Cooper Kush smoking on this? You liking it? What do we think, boys?
All right, I'm going to come out and say no. I came into this
What a bold
season.
pick.
Bold pick there.
I came out into the season thinking we're doomed if anything happens to Dak. And I got to say, I've been pleasantly surprised by what's transpired so far. First game, Dak looked like complete shit. I'm not going to say anything other than I love the guy. I think the guy has plenty of upside, and I definitely think that was, without a doubt, one of the worst games in his career. Do I think it's absolutely over for Dak Prescott? No. I think, first of all, financially, we've committed so much money to this guy that we're almost bound to at least try him out a little further. But I think what we've gotten from Cooper Rush this season is a little bit spectacular, because that's all you want in a backup, is a guy that's serviceable enough to get in there and win some games. Now, Cowboys fans are taking it to a little bit of an extreme this year and saying this guy is the future because he was able to actually win a game.
He's undefeated.
I mean,
in his career.
Undefeated in 2 separate years.
I've seen Cooper Rush.
In 2 years, he hasn't lost a game.
I've seen Cooper Rush at actual training practices. Like, I've been up to the Star in Frisco, and I've seen this guy play. I've seen this guy play in preseason games, and it's almost like when there's an NFL game on the line, he just throws the old version of himself that can't complete a pass to save him life away, and he gets out there and he plays formidable, confident football. And I think that's what gives Cooper Rush a little bit of an edge with all these, Cowboys fans that are reeling
Sounds
right
like
now.
you're talking yourself into a yes here.
No.
Okay.
He doesn't lose in the fourth quarter.
Where's this going?
Yeah, just a nice
Let me
moment.
finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish. I think Cooper Rush is definitely getting himself an opportunity to possibly play elsewhere as well. And the level of play that he's been playing has been pretty good when you consider how dismal the Cowboys offense was with Dak under center against a tough Tampa Bay defense in Week 1. But going forward, I mean, you have to look at the man that's actually challenging downfield. You have to look at the previous throws we've seen from Dak. You have to see the mobility. The decision-making, it feels a little off after game 1, but, I mean, it was one game. I think a lot of people are writing him off the script without looking at, what we're in year 5, so 4 years of film evidence that Dak Prescott can come in and play some good quality football. He's got a cupcake schedule. If you look at half the teams that we play, we're tied for the easiest schedule coming into the season with the Washington Commanders. And you have a defense that is making
NFC East.
Fair.
It's a cakewalk.
You have a defense that is making people question whether or not Cooper Rush can be a starting quarterback on any team. And I really think that when Dak gets under the helm, as long as he can get the kinks out of his decision making that we saw in week 1, we have the athletic ability to at least get in the playoffs and see what happens in the tournament. I think as far as $50 million quarterback Cooper Rush. No, I'm just going to say off athletic ability alone, I don't like it, but I do love the decision-making that we've gotten for Cooper Rush, and I definitely love the wins. And I like the one we're about to get against the Rams, baby. Let's go.
Okay, so all right, Aaron, what do you think?
I'm going to take a piece here from Michael Parsons, and he likes to say that, adversity is always a good thing, and it helps you grow and become better and stronger, and I think that's something that the Cowboys are going through right now. Losing Dak Prescott, we all thought, the world was over, but, the locker room is such a tight-knit group. Like, we have a really good group of people that have really good chemistry this year. I think, Michael Parsons is a big part of that because he's a leader. DeMarcus Lawrence, everybody on that team really wants to win, and so they found ways to win, even without, their main guy who's, can throw for 300, 400 yards a game at times. And I think what made Dak his best, version of himself was back in 2016 when we won that run, and it's because he was managing the offense. He wasn't doing too much, but whenever the plays were there, he definitely took advantage of them and made the plays. His QBR was through the roof.
A lot of run options.
And that's what you're saying. That's what Cooper's doing right now.
Exactly,
right?
That's what Cooper Cup's doing right now.
Cooper Cup. Oh, go
Cooper Rush. I wish we had Cooper Cup back. I bet he could throw too.
Yeah. That made Cooper look a lot better, baby.
It would.
But that's what Cooper Rush is doing right now. He's managing the offense, and he's taking advantage of his opportunities when they're there. Last week we weren't able to run the ball very well, so it's kind of difficult because he does a lot of this. His best success comes from his play action play, which he's top 5 in the league right now of QBR and play action. And then when it's not play action passes, he's bottom half of the league. So, obviously you want Dak back in there. Cooper Rush is doing his job, but he's not going to be the talent that Dak Prescott is.
It's not quite the Cooper Rush crush, huh?
It's not the Cooper Rush crush.
Dak, you're rolling forward with it?
I'm definitely rolling with Dak, but Dak even came out and said something this week that I thought was really cool. He's something that he learned from watching Cooper Rush play is, how simple the offense can be. You have the plays called, and then you see how the defense reacts to it. And on the bench, he's able to do that right now and see how the defense reacts to what plays are being called. And, he said himself that he sees how simple football can be, and he's ready to get back to that, which is when I think he was doing his best work, is when he was keeping everything simple. I think with the new Kellen Moore going in there trying to complicate things too much because he's a young offensive coordinator trying to prove himself. I think he put too much on Dak's plate because, if you run the ball consistently and we have the offensive line to do that, and then you let your defense, handle most of the work because we have one of the best defenses in the league. I don't really think you should be putting all the pressure on the quarterback. I think you should take advantage of opportunities when they're there.
I also kind of want to add a little to that too, because with week 1 and the game script against Tampa, didn't it feel like Kellen Moore was just trying to get too cute with a lot of the early play calling?
Yeah,
for sure.
3rd and 1,
sure.
he's doing
reverse. It's one of the first plays of the game. Just see if we can get a first down before we go make it fucking 2nd and 45.
Yeah, especially against those better defenses, we keep it simple. We have all the playmakers on the roster to win the game. We don't have to do anything too crazy. We're not like the Miami Dolphins doing triple reverses to beat the Patriots a couple years ago. We don't have to do anything that crazy.
Sometimes the Miami Miracle is the best.
Miracle.
Best
it was
player
beautiful to
ever.
watch, but you can't count on it every time.
No.
So I think we need to simplify things.
Oh, you're saying that we shouldn't count on 75-yard triple lateral plays where Rob Gronkowski's playing defense for some reason?
No, Moore.
Right. That's probably a good
that is,
plan.
yeah,
You know what? I'll call Mike McDaniel right now. Let him know not to set that up for next week.
Not when you got the talent we got. So
Kenyon Drake.
I think we're gonna learn something from this experience, and Cooper Rush.
All right, so
play
so
his
overall
part.
we got Cooper Rush is teaching Dak something, but that doesn't mean that
He's
Dak-
teaching him one thing. That's
Well,
it.
he's teaching him one thing,
yeah.
but
He's
that's
teaching him one thing.
that's
Keep it
not
simple,
enough to say
stupid,
it's,
all right?
it's the Cooper time.
Yeah.
It's still the Dak time. All right, come on, Dawson, give me something. Tell
You know
me you
what?
love the Rush.
You know what? And I'm just gonna go ahead and piggyback off these guys right here, and I'm not
Is it
along
cover
with the
four
crush.
again?
I'm not. This is a cover 3 right here. No,
It's cover 3. It's cover 3.
Yeah,
defense
it's cover
here.
3.
Yep.
No, I mean, yeah, you just can't. You just can't. I mean, like, I'm gonna definitely say no. All great points that we brought up here, but I mean, we just saw like how many opportunities did he have last game to capitalize? And there was like
9 field goals. Because
yeah, I mean, like you see the. I mean,
Brett
don't get me
Maher
I gotta
was
say,
putting
Maher-
the ice on after
yeah,
the
like
game. and that
Maher's
hip
doing
flexors
great
hurt.
this season,
Yeah,
but
those
who
hip
else?
flexors,
Like
man.
you know, I mean, just and of course there's been some other mistakes, like that we had that CD drop last week?
Oh, man,
that
that
was
was
just
brutal.
that kid that was
man.
terrible. But
in the bread
Remember the
basket.
air on that ball, though? Was anyone else just as surprised by how much Cooper Rush got some air under that ball?
Well, and I mean, it came out
but
with
it
some
did-
zip. I think it hit CD's hands. He was like, "Oh my god, that was a
no,
good
I think
throw."
CD was surprised. I think CD
he
was not expecting to catch.
Right,
the
he
ball.
wanted
Like,
a little.
was already
He
going
was
for
expecting
that,
a little duck to fall in his
Yeah.
hand, but he got a fucking bullet and he just dropped that shit. Yeah, no.
But yeah, so I'm gonna say no. I'm all right on that.
Yeah.
Take that off right now. Take it.
Yeah. I don't want to see that highlight.
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
a one-handed grab.
And he did
Take
one
that
hand. I was
out.
like, no,
take the other.
Yeah, we
We'll watch
don't
that
need
one.
that.
Watch that one.
Redemption.
But yeah, I'm still riding all with Dak. I mean, he's all around just a better player. All around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's 100% true. So I'm helpful, boys. This is helpful. That's not a homer take at all.
For sure.
We got some people in the DFW here
We're not that wild.
that are ready to send Dak off to a different team. But
Now,
I don't
in
think
2
that's
weeks,
true.
if Cooper Rush beats the Eagles and the Rams,
If he pops off,
ask me again.
if he starts against the Rams and like
Wait a minute.
Gonna have to put a homer caveat on that. We hit a little bit of homer.
he hasn't done what Dak did to replace Romo. All
We're gonna need to get this back under control.
He said, wait a minute.
All right. So here's the next one. We're going to start with Dawson on this one. So, the Eagles have looked formidable at the very least. They are kicking the shit out of teams. We got Jalen Hurts looking like an MVP candidate. That defense is nasty.
my
Darius Slay may now be the best cornerback in the league. We'll talk about that later. But we've got a lot going on with the Eagles. A team I had no expectations for. Thought they'd look bad. Wasn't even sure if Jalen Hurts was going to be the quarterback.
I thought that'd be a wild card team at best.
Yeah, wild card team event. Is this not only the best team in the NFC East, but possibly a contender? What do we think, Dawson?
Definitely a contender. Definitely a contender for sure. I mean, we've seen him play. Jalen Hurts, he has the legs. And that's kind of the name of the game right now. I mean, we see Lamar Jackson, how he plays. Jalen Hurts has like this kind of similar profile there. I think it's a prove it. And what I mean by that is Dallas and Philly that's 2 weeks away. I think that right there is a prove it. It is. Are they really contenders? That'll be Dallas's chance to kind of hop into the game, and see who is the true leader of the NFC East, because we really don't know that right now.
Okay, so I'll extend this question then. You brought that up. So that game happens.
Okay.
Cowboys win. Are the Cowboys the best team in the NFC East? No question.
If they win,
they're the best.
then
team.
they beat every other team in the NFC East.
But if it's close game and they lose, are we talking? All right, I'm not sure yet.
We got to chill on the Eagles. They played the Lions, the Vikings, Commanders, and Jaguars. For God's sakes.
Okay, so
Yeah,
they play the
haven't
Cardinals
played
this week.
anyone.
Maybe,
Well, and then that's another
maybe
thing.
that'll
Too,
make
is,
a difference.
We haven't seen them against a really. Jaguars defense has been proving some points.
Colts fans would.
Didn't Trevor
would-
Lawrence have 5 turnovers?
Yeah, that's the only reason they lost.
He had 5 turnovers.
They were up
Yeah.
14-0. They should have lost to the Jaguars, but Trevor Lawrence could not hold on to the ball because it was raining.
So
there's
I-
definitely good defense to credit.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
But
You
I
got-
really
you
think,
got-
but you have Dallas defense. Dallas defense. Do we think that Philly can put up a game against Dallas defense? And I think Dallas defense is gonna
Yeah,
put
this
some
question-
respect
So,
there.
so,
Put some
so,
respect
so
there.
overall, we're saying Eagles. You want some proof, but a contender.
I think the Eagles are a contender for sure. They definitely have some weapons there, but do I think they're the best team in the NFC East? We have to. It's a prove it. It's a prove it.
All right, we're not ready to concede
Yeah,
that.
I'm not
point.
yet.
All right, Aaron. All right, same question.
Especially
What are we
if the
thinking?
swelling it hasn't gone down. He might not play till week 9.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, they're the last undefeated team in the league, so it's easy to get overhyped on them, but they've played absolutely nobody, and they should have lost to the Jaguars last week. They turned the ball over twice very early on. We're down 14-0. It was pouring down rain, and Jaguars fumbled the ball a lot of times. I mean, they're playing the Cardinals this week, so I think Cardinals are a formidable team. So if they can, beat them pretty good, then I'd have more respect for them. But I think they're a good team. I'm not ready to take that next level to say that they're a great team or a contender for a championship.
So not even giving them contender. Not even. We're just saying we got to wait and see because they haven't played shit.
I think A.J. Brown definitely helped them in the offseason. Like, they got a formidable offense, and they got some big boys up front on defense who can really get after you. But I'm not sold on them yet.
All right. What do you think, Soda?
I'm ready to give a little helpful and give a little homer. I think helpful side of things, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. A.J. Brown's an animal. I mean, the addition to that team of A.J. Brown.
First round.
I never saw that coming. That was wild.
What a stupid
And in the
trade.
first round,
Stupid trade.
Traylon Burks
They
is
didn't
just,
get shit back.
I mean, Traylon Burks is hurt. He's been playing good, but not really to the level of, like, where they can get him the ball. It's just... I think A.J. Brown has been a really good addition. I think the running game over in Philly has been phenomenal. I think the defense has been playing really good.
Yeah,
and
didn't they have a game where like 4 running backs scored a touchdown? It was like the first time in the history of the NFL.
Yes.
We'll have to fact check that. but it was something like that.
Side of things,
Yeah.
we're talking
They
about
like to use a lot of running backs.
I will go as far as to say I think they'll be contenders. Now, whether or not they're division winners or wild card players are soon to be seen. Now, if we're talking best team in the NFC or even just the NFC East, this is where I get a little homer. Because, again, I mean, they have a very soft schedule, as does everyone in the NFC East this year. I don't know if you've noticed, but all the divisions that we're playing are fairly weak coming into the season. We're not playing very formidable teams, and most of the defenses we're playing are averaging on the back half. We're playing some pretty pathetic competition. And one of the hardest games of the season that you have is the Eagles. You play against the formidable Jaguars.
They gave up 35 points to the Lions. Only won by 3.
Jared Goff's playing some pretty good football. I'm not going to completely discredit that.
The Lions,
but is that the game that Darius? Is that the game that
The
Darius
Lions are
Slay had?
averaging the highest points per game in the league. But still, the Lions.
That Dan Campbell offense can fly.
They're going after kneecaps.
I will say that when you talk about being the best team in the NFC, you have to compare to the other teams that are up there, as well as the contenders that can really come and show out. I mean, you have all
Let them
these
play
teams
good
that-
defense first.
all these quarterbacks that no one really expected to do really good, and guys like Jared Goff and Geno Smith and Cooper Rush. But when you talk about the NFC East, it gets very specific. Because, I mean, you're just saying, is it Daniel Jones, the little Cooper Rush, Dak combo, or Washington fucking with Carson Wentz looking like a complete bum for 2 weeks and looking like QB1 for 2 weeks? I think it really boils down to me for the Giants versus the Cowboys versus the Eagles, and the top 2 teams are easily the Eagles and the Cowboys there. I don't think I'm willing to give away the crown of the NFC East. Now, in the last, 10 seasons, no one has won the NFC East back-to-back, and coming into this season, have I seen, Dak go down week 1, am I going to think to myself that this is the year that's going to change it all? But coming out of week 4, I actually do. I mean, the Cowboys defense is playing some of the most formidable football I've seen. They're one of 2 defenses that haven't let up 20 points, and we're getting back 2 of our top players in fucking DeMonte Casey or whatever, and Jalen Curse, and these are 2 of our top players. And we already have a defense that's shutting down offenses. I'd like to see in 2 weeks' time, whether it's Cooper Rush or Dak, how Jalen Hurts fares against some real competition. That offensive line, that run game, it looks formidable. But what are you going to do when you have some of your deadliest competition in your face? And the homer side of things, Dallas Cowboys Nation, if you're waiting on it, here it is. 2 weeks' time, we are going to destroy the Eagles. Easy fucking peasy. No matter who the quarterback is.
And honestly, I have to say, I don't think it's their first loss. I don't think they'll go undefeated till they see us. I think they lose this week because Darius Slay I'm pretty sure he's still injured. Is that correct?
But the Cardinals are a little bit in shambles, and Kyler Murray's like shit.
Yeah,
so
but
I think Slay's questionable this week. He's a dog. I mean, if he's out, but if he's feeling it, he's gonna be out there.
Yeah,
they'll give him one of those ejections, not the one the entire up there his lungs, but the one that actually doesn't injure you forever and whatnot, and doesn't lead to lawsuits.
Yeah.
They're gonna give him one of those in the leg. He's gonna be out there because that man plays football and he plays nasty.
They say defense wins championships, but they ain't got the only defense. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so
contenders, wild card spot maybe, NFC champions. NFC
so
East division winner.
I'll go ahead and wrap up the segment, let everyone know what we're feeling here. All right, we got a homer pick over here from Aaron. I mean, come on, to say they're not even contenders, that's absolutely ridiculous. I think a lot of good points are made, but I mean, 4-0, the offense looks good, the defense looks good. That coach they got out there has been playing well. I think overall helpful points from everybody. That was just too much homer for me, and we got help.
Darius Slay is not on the injury report.
And not on the injury report. I'm telling you, he's a dog. He's going to be in there, man. So I'll tell you, it's
got the dog inside him.
And so what we got there is definitely one homer pick because you're just hating on the Eagles, man. Because to look at that at this point and not see a team,
they beat
the
Lions by 3 points.
Well, then how are you going to say the Cowboys are going to be good?
I'm not saying
because they beat the Bengals.
I'm not saying
we were almost ready to write off and.
You're talking about contenders for a championship.
I'm just talking about a contender.
They're playoff contenders.
In the NFC, it doesn't take much to be a contender.
They're contender for the NFC East. I just don't see them winning a Super Bowl.
Go to the playoffs. They will wind up.
Yeah, I can see them making playoffs. I can't see them winning a Super Bowl.
I feel like you're making the playoffs a contender. You just make it to that bracket, you're a contender.
All right, so this one we're gonna see a very clear cut here, and the question needs to be clear so that the answer can be homer helpful. I'll take all the analysis that goes along with it, but you got to answer yes or no. Is the Cowboys defense the best defense in the NFL this year?
Can I go first?
Yes, you can. Go ahead, sir.
Hell yeah! I'm sorry, but you have like one of the best cornerbacks in the league who got 11 interceptions last year. Everyone's talking all this shit about the yards that they let up and the yards that were allowed, and no one cared about the yards allowed by any other cornerback until Trayvon Diggs gets 11 receptions, and all of a sudden yards allowed matters. So this guy took it personally. He's still got 2 picks on the season within 4 games, and he's one of the most shut down corners that we've seen play in all of football. You have Micah Parsons on the edge in coverage; it doesn't matter. Man's looking like the best defensive player in football. You have the rest of the pass rush getting to the quarterback and guys like Crawford and freaking DeMarcus Lawrence, and you have guys coming back at the linebacker core to join Van Der Esch and Micah Parsons and Damon KZ, and we have freaking some of the best safeties in the league without our best safety on the team even there. In my personal opinion, I think it's not even close. The Dallas Cowboys defense is better than the Bills defense, better than the Broncos defense, better than 32 or 31 other teams, and I think they might be one of the most historic defenses to ever play the game.
Oh my God. All right, so let's move over to Dawson. We got Aaron over here. He's obviously looking up some stats. He's going to come with some ammo. But Dawson, come on, give it to me. What do you think? Yes or no? Right off the bat.
Is Dallas defense the best defense in the league?
It's a clear-cut question. It's a yes or no question.
I'm going to have to say yes, they're the best defense in the league. I'm going to have to.
All right.
I mean, maybe it's a homer, maybe it's not, but I mean, you just Micah Parsons is just such a beast. I mean, he's favorite to win defensive player of the year.
JJ Watt missed 6 games. It's over, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Micah Parsons will be the defensive.
No, if we're talking about it, he is the clear top runner for defensive player of the year.
Agreed.
And he's actually getting to play his role this season. I mean, like he's actually being a pass rusher. We saw last season he was lined up in the end of the line a lot and linebacker because we were struggling at linebacker. So he's actually he's really able to focus on the actual pass rushing. And I think he's been really successful there. They're double teaming him, and we've actually seen DeMarcus Lawrence pop out more because he's
always been there.
They've been competing for sacks.
Exactly, but now you're really seeing that. And now who else is getting sacks now? I mean, we have Armstrong that is getting sacks now that we really didn't hear last season, but. I mean, now you have him poking out DeMarcus Lawrence because now they're having to put all this attention on Micah Parsons. So
the name, but the guy who got an interception last week, not Diggs, but the other interception.
Because he's like a rookie.
Yeah, he was like a freaking rookie, and they bring him out because the other guy was a game time decision. Decided to cut him, and the rookie comes out and gets a pick. I mean, you look at even the preseason games, and it was like turnover city for all these.
And then last season you had
pick from Carson Wentz. That's really hard to do.
Okay,
Trayvon Diggs. Okay, so if we talk about Trayvon Diggs, he had all these picks last season, but everyone was like dogging him because he had all these yards that were put on top of him. But how is he doing this season? He's shutting down. And he was his first pick last game. Was that his first pick?
No, it's second.
Second pick. Okay, so we had his second pick last game, and I mean he is just shutting down these top receivers. So yeah, I definitely just all around balance, I do think we have the best defense in the league right now. Currently, right now.
I want to hear the stats. Aaron, what you get?
Aaron, stats.
All right, Aaron, what do we got? Got anything to back it up, or just gonna give some opinions of what you were reading there? What do we think?
You know, I had to look some
First question, yes or no?
I had to look some things up because it is really tough. Cowboys have an amazing defense. The only thing that limits them is their their rush defense. They're towards the bottom of the league in allowing rushing yards per attempt, which is kind of strange to me because we have some pretty solid dudes up front.
They're all just going for the quarterback, though.
That's kind of the thing, though.
Sack or
Is
nothing.
like people like Michael Parsons. They know that sacks is what gets them paid, so they're just going crazy after the quarterback, and that's allowing if you push too much upfield, then if they do hand it off, it's like a draw play, like there's wide open gaps, and they're still allowing some big plays to happen, especially through the running game. I would say the most complete defense is probably the San Francisco 49ers.
Damn right it is. No, and I think
that's fair.
And so it's a no from you then.
I would have to say no, unfortunately.
No. Okay. All right.
But I really like where the Cowboys are going, obviously. But the Niners defense, they're more proven and they've been doing it for longer. But I think with Dan Quinn and the Cowboys, maybe if we keep them another year, or maybe towards the end of the year, the Cowboys could definitely have the best defense by the end of it because they're starting to build that continuity and they've already taken leaps from last year. And the good thing about NFL is not college, so like you're not losing players every couple of years. You can stack up these players and get the continuity and get everybody on the same game plan, just like the Seahawks defense back. What was it called? Boomer.
Legion of Boom.
Legion of Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Like those people, those players were together for like 5 years, and like they started to get better and better each year. So I feel like Cowboys could definitely build upon.
Wilson's like second year.
We got a bunch of young players. They could get to something like that level, but right now I had to go to the 49ers.
I mean, our best safety and one of the best linebackers, coming out of the draft.
Is Jeff Heath still there? No, I'm not just
It's Wilcox.
But no, okay. So the assessment. I mean, come on, Anthony came out way guns blazing homer here, and
One of the best in history.
Yeah.
Not just in the league, in history. You heard it here first.
I mean,
You heard it
we'll
here
see.
first.
do not use that.
They honestly have
Honestly,
so many young
anywhere.
players, and they did so well in this last year's draft, and the year before that, like the next couple of years, they could be up there for sure.
Yeah, and so I think we got Aaron is giving us a very helpful take here. I mean, the 49ers defense has been formidable to start, and you have Jimmy G and whatever garbage Trey Lance was when he was there for the first 2 games. I mean, and on the other side of the ball, Nick Bosa with the rush power, and then you've got some dogs in the middle that are coming through the middle part and making sure that rush defense. And he's right. A weakness of the Cowboys, the rush defense. They got to lock that up. Something.
They're towards the bottom of the league right
keep
now.
more people in the box. If you really think that you've got the best secondary in the league, get some more people in the box, fix the problems, right? Because if you get run over, it's going to be a long, long season, no matter how many times you run
Especially to
past the
Washington
quarterbacks.
Redskins. The Redskins were gashing
and then they're
us.
gashing us with who is that? J.C. McKissick or
McKissick.
McKissick.
He's a receiving back.
Yeah, he's a
Antonio
receiving
Gibson,
back. He shouldn't be
McKissick,
hitting the holes hard. I mean,
Yeah.
thank God the guy that got shot wasn't there. He would have had like 1,000 yards. But so I mean, we're in agreement here. We got a homer pick here. Dawson was on the fence, but he went ahead and said, yeah, so I might have to hit him with the homer too. Because, I mean, I think in general we've got the 49ers. I think there's other defenses out there you can argue when they're healthy, like the Bills. When Poyer was out, the Dolphins were able to exploit that a little bit. But when he's in there, I mean, they only ended up with 21 points anyways. The Bills' defense is pretty strong. I mean, the whole team's strong. But
Them losing their starting safety though for the season.
that is
Well,
tough.
that's what I was thinking at first was the Bills.
That's true.
but,
Without
I
Micah
mean,
Hyde, it's going to be.
See how we look with our starting.
They still haven't got that cornerback back yet either.
Yeah. So there's definitely some questions to be asked there. All right. Well, I think that sums it up. We'll do this segment every week. There's going to be different energy in the room when the Cowboys aren't coming off 2 straight wins with the with the Cooper Rush crush, and everything's rolling through and the defense is looking great. So
Because we'll be coming off 3 wins, baby. Let's go.
Okay, maybe the energy will stay the same.
I don't
But we'll see every week, guys. We'll hit that and kind of get to know, do these Cowboys fans really have a good head on their shoulders shoulders, or are they just overreacting to everything they see?
We've been through a lot.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
As a Dolphins fan, you can
As a
understand.
Dolphins fan, I can relate. I can
like
relate.
30 years.
We might even throw in a segment every now and then where I get to react to a couple of
love
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
No, yeah,
things,
we have to.
but
We have
we'll
to.
see. I'm also
You gotta-
very
you gotta twitch a
rational
little
on
bit.
that piece.
All right, guys. So starting with this next segment, we're gonna go into our game picks. We're gonna go through each game and kind of talk about them a little bit. So the first game online is gonna be Detroit at New England. Detroit's plus 6.5 with the over under of 44 for the game. Alex, what do you think about that game?
Oh man, I got to tell you, Detroit has looked really good. To have what is it, Bailey Zappa or the guy? Is he the guy from Karate Kid? Is that the one that he was the Cobra Kai guy? He wasn't the Cobra Kai guy. I don't know. I didn't watch the movie.
The
but-
Drew Lock lookalike.
Yeah, the Drew Lock lookalike.
Yeah.
So we got
Come
him
on
at the
now, come on
helm.
now.
Obviously, Bill Belichick's a genius. I mean, they hung him with the Packers last week, which is why I got to think this line is the way that it is. But, the Lions, they have been flying, man. That offense looks good. So if you're asking me for a pick on that one, I'm not touching the spread. I don't like them, but the over, baby. The Lions are hitting the over by like 21 points plus every week. The Lions over, death, taxes, and the Lions over this year. That's what I'm telling you, baby.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised the spread is the way it is, regardless of Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, simply because, I know the Lions' defense has been somewhat putrid, but if you look at their offense, they lost Amon-Ra St. Brown, they lost DeAndre Swift, and they lost DJ Shark, and they come out there with Jamal Williams and Josh Reynolds, and they fucking torch defenses. I think the offense of this team will clearly, I agree, I think they'll take any over that you got, it doesn't matter who's playing, you're getting some of their players back, most likely, at least in Amon-Ra St. Brown, I believe, should be playing this weekend. He's questionable, but they're saying he's trending upwards. And I think when you look at New England, on the other side of the ball, Bailey Zappi's the best-looking quarterback on that team right now. Mac Jones hasn't looked like particularly phenomenal in any of these games, and I have to question whether or not New England's defense is anywhere near the par of what it used to be. I got to take the Lions on this one. One of the best offenses in the league. I don't care if their defense loads up 70. They'll score 75.
Right? They'll try.
So, well, then I'm fine with that. So I'll take the over.
I'll take that.
Yeah, that sounds like a winner. That sounds like
Might as well just
wait,
hedge it.
wait.
We'll
Oh,
hedge it.
you gonna take the money line?
I got $3.
All right, we got a money line
We got a
pick.
money line
pick.
70-75. Final.
Final.
Bold. All right, Dawson, what are you thinking?
Oh God. I'm Lions for sure. No question about it. I don't like the spread. That spread is really dangerous.
It's 4, right?
No, it's 6.5.
Or has it been bet
Yeah,
down?
six
I thought
and a half
it got bet
spread.
down. Is it down to 3? What's the thing in the box? What's the one in the box?
3.
Yeah. Okay, so it's been bet down to 3.
Bet down to 3. Okay, I would take the spread then. I think they'll definitely. I think they'll win by a touchdown. New England, come on.
Detroit will win by a touchdown.
Yes. Yeah. I think Detroit.
Well, Detroit's not favored, so you're getting the points. They can lose.
Oh no,
by
but I still think they're gonna win.
All right.
I still think I'm taking the spread, even
Okay.
if they're favored. But I think they're winning by a touchdown no matter what. New England. They're on their their 4th string quarterback, 3rd string quarterback. It's just
Axel
terrible.
Hoyer didn't work out.
No,
Concussion protocol.
and who do you have to throw to on New England? I guess you got Devontae Parker, but
All right. That's
but we don't want
Again,
but we're talking about Miami trash now.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
So
You don't want Miami trash.
Yeah, so I have to go with Lions there for sure.
Yeah. Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I would also, I'd go with the Lions on this because I don't see New England scoring More than 7 points. So as long as Detroit scores something, I think they'll cover.
All right. So if you were to take fantasy value out of this game, who are we looking at? You got any Patriots? You got any Lions players? Who do you guys think is gonna make?
If St. Brown's in, I'm definitely picking him because he's getting like 15 targets a game.
What about Hawkinson?
Hawkinson with a 40 bomb, but you gotta look at
Hawkinson destroyed me in one fantasy league. He scored almost like 50 points.
But that was what, I was gonna say there wasn't Chark wasn't out there, Brown wasn't out there.
But they're all questionable to return.
Now,
like they're not. Are they all playing?
They're gonna play.
If Sharp misses, if Sharp misses, if Amon-Ra St. Brown misses, I mean these are questions as to who's going to get the ball with T.J. Hawkinson, and if they play, you assume that one of those guys is going to get some of the work. But I actually got to go on a little bit further there. I think the best player in this game for fantasy value is all these surprisingly successful Jamal Williams owners that if you aren't starting this guy, you gotta start this guy.
His price is getting up there.
I can't believe in the leagues I'm in. I mean, even the weeks that Swift is there, he's the dude.
He's the dude.
I have no idea how that happened, and
Did you not watch Hard Knocks?
Well,
he's the heart and soul of the team.
Well, you gotta hope that comes back around and bites somebody in the ass at some point, thinking he's gonna be your RB1. But
I mean, he put up RB2 numbers as a backup running back when Swift was healthy. When Swift was hurt, he's putting up better numbers than Swift.
Yeah, but it all depends on. Do you think this Detroit
offense
is going to stay this way, right? Because that's
Jamal Williams had the long runs last game.
Look at the games they lost last year and how tight some of those scores were, and how high some of those scores were.
They love to compete to lose, for sure.
They love to compete to lose.
All right.
I'll tell you a sit 'em though.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next game. We got Tennessee at Washington.
Okay.
You got Tennessee -2. And then over under at 43. That's a high scoring game for those offenses.
All right, so over under 43 and -2 for who?
For Tennessee.
Tennessee's favorite.
Against Washington?
Tennessee's 2-2. Washington's 1-3.
Is Las Vegas watching the same Carson Wentz I am?
Yeah.
I think I actually am going to go a little against the grain here because I kind of sense where the grain's going. I think the Commanders take this game. But hear me out. So you have possibly the Brian Robinson emergence this week with J.D. McKissick and Antonio Gibson in a pretty stout run game.
He's going to be shot out of a cannon, that guy.
You look at the last two games and you think Carson Wentz is fucking buns. This guy is literally, he's buns no burger. Like, this guy is fucking playing against defenses that are elite, and he's looking like pee-wee football. Now, I'm not even going to pretend like that's not the case, but we're kind of neglecting the first 2 weeks where Carson Wentz was in the top 5 fantasy QBs against some mild, soft defenses.
Yeah, that was all second half though. In the first half,
100%.
In those games, I don't even think they had yards. I think they went into halftime with negative yards.
No, absolutely.
As a team.
Nevertheless, Carson Wentz comes out in the second half and put up 4 quarters worth of football in 2 quarters. I mean, you look at the guy, you look at his history with the Colts as well. And the guy was throwing horrible picks and really indecisive plays on top of some really comparable football that yardages some really good fantasy numbers. I look at Carson Wentz this week against Tennessee and I ask myself, is Tennessee good enough to beat Carson Wentz at his best? And I have to say, I don't think they are. I think Derrick Henry is an uphill runner and he'll have some.
They got some
work,
big dudes in the middle of Washington. So
look at that defense, how they've been stopping some run football. Now, if you're telling me it's Tennessee relying on throwing the football to win this game with no Treylon Burks, yeah, I'm sorry. Brian Tannehill's looked bad. I'm actually going to call Commanders in this game.
So you're taking the 2.5 with the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. First off, no one in the
Washington
world should even talk about the over/under in this game. This could be a six total point game, or they could score every possession. It makes no sense. These teams are fucking so inconsistent and garbage all around. Let's just be honest. I'm taking Tennessee at the 2.5. One, that's a good bet line, right? You get the 3. If they win by a field goal, you can still win in overtime. That's just quality betting right there. That's Las Vegas at its finest. But even more so, the day I bet on Carson Wentz is the day I
you lose.
I mean, I cannot do it. So yeah, give me the Tennessee Titans going away.
Oh, I'm going to Washington.
Oh my God.
I'm going to Washington.
We got Cowboy homers all picking.
I'm taking Washington, and I mean Tennessee hasn't shown me anything though. I mean, like Derrick Henry was kind of quiet the first couple weeks. I mean,
Derrick Henry had a really good game last week.
He had a good game last week, yes, but the beginning weeks, you just and who did they play against last week?
Shit. Tennessee,
Exactly.
Colts, maybe?
I can't remember.
I don't know. I want to bet on it, but I remember that.
I just remember Derrick Henry popped off for a lot of yards.
Well,
Yeah,
Derrick Henry did well, but
I remember not giving a shit about who the opponent was.
I think Washington. It's going to be a Carson Wentz, Curtis Samuel game.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it is. So I think Washington's
No
gonna
Scary
come out.
Terry?
Yeah,
No,
Tennessee plays the Colts.
Terry's
Colts. There you go. There
okay.
you go.
So
Hung up 24.
Yeah.
so I think Scary Terry's
all
going to be
Derrick Henry.
Scary Terry's still going to be there, but I mean Curtis Samuel is just he's kind of like the Debo Samuel of Washington. So he's very diversified. So I think Washington's going to come out and take this one.
Way to compare two Samuels. Quality.
Yeah, nothing like Debo, but
Samuel v. Samuel.
Samuel.
What you got, Aaron?
if I was betting, I would stay away from both these teams.
Aaron's like,
I don't trust my money on
Gun
any
to
of
head,
these
you gotta pick a
teams.
team. Who wins this game?
We'll give you money line. Which side? Who wins?
Wins the game. That's terrible. I hate
Where's
this.
it at?
It's a bad position. Washington.
Oh, yeah, I'm still in Washington.
I would say Tennessee just because they've been more proven recently to win games than Washington because Washington's just trash.
All right, so we got a couple bets and someone that hates actually having to put it on there. But
Fantasy value.
Great.
All right. Now,
Curtis
I don't
Samuel
care
always.
what the spread in this game is. I don't care what these guys say. I'll say that Carson Wentz is a good QB play if you're desperate this week. If you got nobody
Tennessee
else,
secondary
the
is.
I mean,
secondary
I
is
think
trash
that-
for Tennessee. And if you're sitting at halftime and you're like, but Soda, Carson Wentz has 0 points. Don't worry, he might finish with 27 by the time this is over.
it's not an incorrect take. I
Playing from behind.
I'll go the opposite direction with it. I'll tell you this, and this has been the most frustrating thing as a Scary Terry owner. Sit him, guys. He is not the focal point. It turns out Curtis Samuel is, and then at the end of the day, the check down king Carson Wentz isn't going to find him on a deep ball. So this guy needs to find himself a new team. But that my hot take on it is if you've got Scary Terry, if you got anything else on your team, put that guy on the bench.
In other news, just one more little tidbit there. Traylon Burks looking very doubtful to play for the next 2 weeks. I think they also have a bye actually. They might not be on the field for 3 weeks. So Robert Woods owners, now's your time.
No, don't play Robert Woods.
Maybe not. If he's your flex, consider it.
I'll trade him to you now for nothing.
I have nothing.
Works out perfectly.
All right.
All right, on to the next game. You got the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams.
Ooh.
Cowboys plus 4.5. Over under at 45.5. So they expect it to be a high scoring game.
Okay.
All right, I'll kick this one off so that we can get into the obviously everyone's picking
the obvious
Cowboys.
reasons
So,
you're starting with.
I'm obviously going with the Rams here, and I'll tell you why. I don't have a lot of confidence in what the Rams look like this year, but this is probably Cooper Rush's last chance to say, hey, am I going to be the new Dak or not? He's probably going to push a little too hard.
Unless
make
Dak
a couple
plays.
throws, and he's not going to do it. And if Dak does play, same scenario. Dak's going to push coming out hard. But either way, that was an embarrassing loss from the Rams, and they never play the 49ers well. So I think this is all public perception trying to put this line this low at 4. I mean, really, they're a touchdown or better team than the Cowboys. I know that's hard to hear, boys. But I really, no doubt, I've got the Rams,
I
no
haven't heard you
question.
say much about this. I want to hear your thoughts on this. How do you feel the Rams fare against the Cowboys defense? No, to keep Cooper Rush out of this. How do you think the Rams fare against not the best defense in the league?
I think, in all honesty, I think they've got, with Cooper Kupp and the weapons of the brain of that coach, and I don't know why I can't remember his fucking name.
Sean
McVay.
He's gonna draw something up, and he just doesn't strike me as a team that's gonna lose 2 games in a row. This is a championship team from last year. He's a genius. He did well with Jared Goff, which apparently so can Dan Campbell. But
this is
I just
start with the Rams, by the way.
yeah,
So
I've
team
heard.
is
Well,
worth
I think when he lost the first game, it was like his first loss as a home opener or a opener or whatever. But in general, I'm just not seeing it. It may be an anti-Cowboy pick, and maybe I need to be called an anti-Homer or something. I don't know. But in reality, I just
Marge.
yeah, it's a Marge pick. All right, I got a Marge pick right now. But I think in reality that this team is just better. And I think they will show that on the field, especially if Cooper Rush is playing. he's going to push too hard to try to get the starting job.
Cooper Rush should be playing, by the way, in case anyone's doubting. It's looking very likely Cooper Rush is starting.
So, yeah. But that's my take. I fuck the over/under in this game. I have no idea what's going to happen.
I want to go last. Dawson, what do you got?
I'm going Dallas this game. You can call me a homer all you want, Alex, but I'm, just watching how he's playing with that, and he's playing. Well, they say his injury is fixed with the surgery, but I still see it in him, and I think that this is going to be Diggs' big game. Michael Parsons is going to come out. He's going to get a couple sacks too, and I just don't think. I think that our defense is going to play well. Do I think it's on the over/under? I think it's going to be under. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a defensive game. You got Jalen Ramsey lining up on CD probably. Yeah, but I'm still taking Dallas. I'm still taking Dallas on this one, especially since they're not favored in this game.
You get 4.
Yeah, you get 4.5. So I'll definitely take that spread for that game. So
fair.
Okay.
I will also take the Cowboys at 4.5 because I feel like if the Cowboys lose, it will be by a last-second field goal because that's how we always go down.
So you're like, I'm covered either way. They win or lose.
I'm probably
taking 4.
I'm probably taking the under too because, the Cowboys' pass defense has been great. The rush defense hasn't been that great, so I feel like the Rams have tried to rush the ball a lot, but the Rams have been really bad at rushing the ball as well, and their linemen just aren't very good right now. They're all injured. So I think the Cowboys kind of dominate the line of scrimmage. And then you got the Rams defense, which is pretty stout always. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. It's hard. I'd probably take the Rams to win it, but I'll take the Cowboys to cover. Just because with Cooper Rush, I'm not sure he's capable of beating a team of that talent, but we'll see. I'm optimistic.
What's up, Soda?
You already know what it is. We're going with Cowboys on every coverage, every spread, everything you got. Now, here's why. I might feel differently about this Eagles game next week. It's not, all Cowboys boom and bust here. But I got to say I'm full Cowboys train for this one for one reason alone. The weakness of the Cowboys defense right now has got to be the run game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you all ask yourselves independently, is the strength of the Rams their elite run game? No.
We definitely match up well.
As a person that
up,
drafted Cam Akers.
Except they have Matt Stafford and we had Cooper Rush.
I look at week 1. I look at a very comparable defense to the Cowboys and the Bills defense. And how did Matt Stafford handle himself under duress in that Bills game? Does anyone remember? Because I remember he got shit on. I look at this game and I ask myself, is Cooper Rush able to outscore Matt Stafford against this impeccably tough defense? Now, that's a question that is going to determine the outcome of this game. Because I don't think Matt Stafford has himself a day. I don't think there's much fantasy asset in this game. You're talking about 2 stout defenses, a little more stout than the other, against some pretty mediocre offenses. Now, the reason I picked the Cowboys to win this game and to cover, whatever the spread is, he says at 4 points, to cover the spread there is for one reason and one reason alone. It's that we have a healthy wide receiver core and Noah Brown, CeeDee Lamb, and Dalton Schultz, as well as Michael Gallup. He has targets, whereas Cooper Rush has been doing this with nobody against some pretty mediocre defenses. I think some of these guys find holes. I think we can push the ball. And as long as the Cowboys can get me 17 points on the board, I think they win this game.
It'll be Maher getting you 17 points. But,
Maybe.
So 16 it is.
Yeah.
Or, you mean 18, I guess, in that
Oh, we'll get a safety probably.
I think he finds the end zone. I saw that deep ball from Cooper Rush. I think somebody gets open. I think Cooper Rush finds that deep
Okay, but how about this? Everyone's talking defense, right? We're all talking under. Well, I didn't touch the under, but any fantasy value here? I mean, Cooper Kupp. That goes unsaid. But I mean,
if you're
anything
looking
else?
at the Cowboys, I think CeeDee Lamb's a given because he's starting to really build that chemistry. I think Noah Brown, despite his early start, is pretty quiet in this game. I don't like much from Gallup's TD dependent. I mean, but most of the Cowboys' offense, if you're looking for like consistent fantasy value, I really feel like is only coming from CeeDee Lamb out of this game. However, the Rams, I have a feeling either Cam Akers or Darrell Henderson is going to get you a little 10-pointer slide in there. They're going to rely on the run game a lot in this game.
I'm not playing that back.
If you're talking about daily fantasy,
no.
there's not much value. But I mean, obviously, if you have, stars like Cooper Kupp and stuff like that, and in regular fantasy, then
play the defenses.
I would say Dallas defense is the star of that game.
Yeah,
Dallas defense is the star of that game.
or
even Rams defense.
Yeah,
Who knows?
It's gonna be low.
This is one of those games we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next game, we got Cincinnati Bengals versus Baltimore Ravens.
Ooh, good game.
Where's that?
It's at Baltimore. Cincinnati's +1 with an over/under of 48.5. So one of the more high-scoring games of the slate, and I don't disagree with that.
I'm just gonna full stop on this one. Give me Baltimore, coming off that atrocious loss where they were up 20 points on Bills. I'm terrible.
In Baltimore.
Baltimore, give me them. You get. I don't even have. They don't have to win by more than 2. Are you kidding me? Give me Baltimore. I'm done.
About the downside about the Ravens defense. I don't care about the upside of the Cincinnati offense. Give me the MVP. Give me the best player in football right now. Give me Lamar Jackson.
Jalen Hurts. Oh,
no. Everyone's saying Jalen Hurts too, stuff like that, but I mean, really, Lamar Jackson
been
some
balling.
of the best football.
Fantasy-wise, in the more
hands down.
Yep.
I mean, statistically, that's where fantasy derives from. Statistically, Lamar Jackson is playing some of the best football on his defense. It's not trying
Fighting
to
for that contract.
But statistically, Lamar Jackson is giving his all every single week. I think Cincinnati, they do their best, but they lose. They fall short. I don't care what the spread is. I take Ravens 10 times out of 10.
Wait, doesn't.
I think this is headed into that cover 4 right now.
Oh,
I think it's headed there right now.
Cover 4 prediction.
Right? Yeah, right. Lamar has just been a beast out there on the field, and we've seen it. I mean, yeah, we can talk about their defense has not been. That's why there's been high-scoring games. But do I think this is going to hit the over? I do think it is.
Yeah, the over seems pretty safe. Yeah.
I think the over is going to be pretty safe. The spread on that is, give me that.
Yeah.
Ravens are going to win by at least a field goal. So give me that spread. I'm taking Baltimore full. I think it's going to be a good game, high-scoring game. But yeah, Baltimore.
All right, Aaron, hit us with yours, and then dive into the fantasy upsides.
I'm gonna go Baltimore too.
Cover 4, baby.
We got cover 4.
I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on them just because 2-2, when really they should have been at least 3-1. But they played some really good teams. They only gave like 23 points to the Bills. Like, their defense isn't as bad as everyone says. They have some really good cornerbacks that can make plays. They've just been playing against good teams, and Cincinnati, on the other hand, they really haven't lived up to the hype. They've had some winnable games. Cowboys backup quarterback, and they weren't able to win. And so if they weren't able to beat Cooper Rush and the boys, I feel like Baltimore will definitely handle business. I'd probably take the over on this.
Yeah, agreed. That is definitely the right.
I would take the over. I think Baltimore score at least 30 on Cincinnati's defense. So I feel confident about Lamar Jackson for fantasy.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely Lamar Jackson. And who's the number 1 receiver they got right now?
Duvernay? Is it Duvernay?
I was gonna say,
Yeah, Duvernay is someone else.
We're pulling from Bateman, but I think it's going to be a good Duvernay.
I think if you're playing daily, I'd take Duvernay because I bet you can get him cheap, and I bet you can better
he won me
odds
some
and
money.
better results. Yeah, and you're gonna get some.
Are we taking Mark Andrews or no?
Mark Andrews.
You're gonna have to overpay for Mark Andrews if he's on your team. It's obviously.
Well, I think are we thinking QB, wide receiver, tight end
for all these DraftKings value boards? I definitely think Devin Duvernay is some of the best value in this game.
Yeah.
For a DraftKings stack, Lamar Jackson, Andrews, Duvernay.
I don't think there's anything on the Bengals. If you have anyone on the Bengals that you're playing, but I think value-wise,
you can hope for some Tyler Boyd upside, but you're going to get better upside. You're going to get a better upside.
Hate that. He's
I'd rather go
They have too much talent. So
I was going to say, but he's targeting 2 people, and then when he's not targeting those 2 people, he's targeting the tight ends.
You need a sleeper tight end though. Hayden Hurst is a good play.
You know what? I'll tell you what. If you
Hurst
can get a
is a
cheap
good play.
value on Hayden Hurst, throw him.
That is
in
fair.
for sure. Well done. Yeah.
Definitely not playing defenses.
No defenses in that.
No, this is a
All right, moving on to the next game. We got the New York Giants at Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. Giants are +6.5. Over under is 45.5. I don't think it'll be that high scoring of a game.
Wait, Giants are favored to win? Is that what I heard?
No.
Oh, okay. I heard
They're
that.
giving
favored by
6.5.
It says in Lambeau too.
Yeah, it's in Lambeau.
Yeah.
Give me the Packers. That's nuts.
Are you taking Packers?
Packers won by a touchdown.
Yeah, Packers by the spread. In fact, slam it down. Packers, I'm going to double the spread. Get my money better. They're going to win by I guess double spread's like 13. So I'll take 13 for the Packers. The over, no way.
Interesting.
Daniel Jones can't get it done throwing. He can run, obviously, but Packers defense will figure that out. They've been playing well.
Yeah.
I think it was a fluke last week with the Zappies going at him. They had no tape on him, and he came out, halfway through the first quarter and played well. But no, give me the Packers. In fact, double up the spread. I'm not touching the over/under. I don't really care. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, ayahuasca baby. He is in the zone. He likes to smoke it. He likes to throw it. So we good.
I'll second that. I'll say Green Bay. I'm not going to do that 13 spread.
Yeah,
I'm not
double
doing
spread.
that. I'm not
Yeah,
doing the
double
spread. But I will take Green Bay there. I mean, I think Green Bay all the way around is just a better team. I do think this is for your fantasy players out there. I think this is some move for Saquon. I think Saquon's still going to come out. He's still trying to fight for that RB1 option. I think Nick Chubb just passed him up last week. So I think this is a chance for Saquon to kind of get back into that RB1. And so yeah. But I still think Green Bay's going to take it. It's low scoring game. I'm taking the under on the points.
What are you thinking, Aaron?
I'm definitely taking Green Bay to win by a touchdown. It's not even a question.
Yeah.
I mean, Giants, the 3-1, so they look nice.
Oh, please.
But, I mean,
those
They beat the
teams.
Titans, they beat the Panthers, they lost the Cowboys with Cooper Rush, and then they lost to the Bears. All right, they beat the Bears. So, the 3 wins were against the bottom of the pack. And so I think people are thinking this game's going to be closer than it should be. Green Bay, even if he has nobody to throw to, Aaron Rodgers will still find a way to get it done. They can easily win by a touchdown at home. I'm taking it under as far as points because, unless Green Bay scores most of them. I don't see Giants scoring a lot.
No.
They got no receivers at all. So that may work against the Bears, but it ain't going to work against Green Bay.
We got cover 4, baby. We got cover 4.
Whoa,
Cover four all day.
Okay, look. For Giants fans out there, I'll give you this. This is the most formidable Giants team you've seen in a decade, and I'm sorry for you.
Yeah, because they're still hot garbage.
You got rid of Devontae Adams.
He's right. He's
That's
right.
what we got last year.
This is one of the best teams since Eli Manning has retired, and it is a hot pile of steaming garbage.
So, look, I'll say this. Whereas Aaron Rodgers is finally starting to figure out what's going on with the wide receivers over there and losing Devontae Adams, Daniel Jones is not getting so lucky. He just lost Sterling Shepard, and it's looking like Kenny Galladay is not going to play as well.
Because
Getting paid so much money.
Because Kenny Galladay doesn't want to be on the fucking team.
Kenny Galladay is the
Even when he
highest
wanted
paid
to, they didn't
water boy
want
in the
him.
league,
Yeah.
and I think he's doing great at giving water to the teammates. As far as this game spread goes, I think the Packers could easily double the spread. If you're looking for fantasy value, I think names like Romeo Doubs stand out to me.
For sure.
I wouldn't touch anybody from the Giants unless you're just absolutely desperate. Maybe go shop Richie James. But as far as the Packers go, I think the offense is really starting to figure it out. I think they lock this game down. It's a home game. I have no fears that between the pass offense finally getting together and the running back duo and A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, that the Packers don't easily take this game.
Any value in one of those two guys, though? They've been splitting
So
evenly.
hard to say, but I do got to give the Aaron Jones edge. A.J. Dillon, I think he gets his fair share of work, and if you're an Aaron Jones permanent owner, you're probably really pissed off. But I think in general, it's always safer to play Aaron Jones. He's the back with, I feel like, the higher upside to get you the bigger play, and he's not an every down back. They're not going to have him always at the goal line, but they will have him at the goal line. There's no reason to believe that he won't eat his share, at least first and foremost.
If you ask me, I'm going for one of those cheap Green Bay receivers because Aaron Rodgers can get some pass touchdowns.
So you like Dobbs or do you like Lazard?
If you're going cheaper than Dobbs, if you're just a Hail Mary on a player, pick up Christian Watson.
Oh God,
Christian
Watson.
The two plays a game max. He's going to get 2 targets, but they're going to be deep ball targets. If he actually learns to catch those, oh man, Christian Watson's going to be.
You got to learn how to catch him first, though.
Yeah, he's getting wide open.
You better be adding him to your daily fantasy if he only costs.
I like Dobbs. I like this is a good
Dobbs.
rookie breakout game.
I like Lazard over Dobbs.
I feel like if you're playing,
he's gonna be a lot more.
Lazard is the favorite target right now.
And he's been doing the dirty work, and Aaron Rodgers loves that.
No,
he's been
for
getting
sure.
some tough catches too.
Yeah.
He's actually been fighting for the
No,
ball.
Lazard has been playing really well, and I know Aaron Rodgers respects that, so I do think.
But if you want to
Lazard's
draft Kings wide receiver that costs $1,
Dobbs.
Yeah. All right,
guys. I'm really excited to talk about this next game.
Okay.
I think it's kind of a joke. We got Miami at the New York Jets.
Oh, I already know. No,
Miami minus 2.5.
This is an
The
interesting
over
game.
under is 44.5. We'll let Alex answer this last,
let's
or
start with you.
Bougie Bradley. He'll answer this last.
Brad,
No, I'm going last.
Brad
You wanna go
Bougie.
last?
I'm gonna start off on this because, I just want to get some things out there. Even with Teddy Bridgewater, the talent that Miami has will easily beat the Jets by 3 points. Miami's defense itself, I feel like, may score more points than the Jets' offense because Wilson, he's just slinging it with no regard. I mean, the Jets are notorious at drafting back quarterbacks, and I think this is another one. I don't know why they're so high on him. I've never really seen a lot from him. I mean, he chooses to run it up the middle of the field on preseason games when nothing's on the line. He just runs right down the
That's
middle.
what he did last game.
He doesn't slide. He just takes on hits from linebackers and stuff. Like, I don't think his mental awareness is all there.
Low QB IQ.
And Teddy Bridgewater is a pretty good quarterback. I think. I think he's definitely a solid start or solid backup. He could be a starter on some teams like the Jets. And he's got
Like the
Jalen
Jets.
Waddle, Tyreek Hill. Like, he's just got a plethora of talent around him. Teddy Bridgewater will be more than fine in this game. I'm taking Miami definitely to cover. I don't know about the over-under. That's kind of risky because I don't think the Jets score many points, but Miami could score about 25, 30. I'll probably stay away from that, but I'm taking Miami on this.
What do you think, Dawson?
You got to take Miami on this. I think this is a big game turnaround, especially with the injury happening last week. I think that Miami's they're at like a perfect point, saying that it's not just Tua in the offense; they have other options.
Who's your starting fantasy quarterback?
I don't want to talk about it. So
You pick up Teddy?
I gotta start Chase Edmonds. So yeah, so that's gonna be a fun one.
Been getting some touchdowns.
Hey,
you
you know
drop
what?
him.
You know what? Yeah, but he might drop him again. That's a
Yeah.
problem. That's a problem. So, but I do think Miami covers here. I don't like the over under. I'm gonna probably go definitely with the under there. I do have some fantasy relevance. So I do think that Corey Davis has a pretty good game. Zach Wilson's favorite target is Corey Davis, and we saw that in the preseason. And so I do think there's some fantasy relevance there to try to keep up with Miami. He's going to be slinging it out, but I do ultimately think that Miami's going to win that game.
A little bit of a bold prediction here. Giselle, I got you, baby. I'm going to go Wilson to Wilson. I'm going to give me some Zach Wilson to some Garrett Wilson. I like the chemistry from last year in Elijah Moore. I like him coming out and hitting Corey Davis, but I really think that Zach Wilson is yet to find his rhythm with the best receiver on his team, and I think that is easily going, for me at least, going to be Garrett Wilson. I watched this guy in plays where he's not getting targeted, and this guy's getting open coverage against teams that are better. I'll just put it like that. I mean, the Steelers may not have it all together on offense, but I watched that game from a defense perspective, and I think once Zach Wilson gets a little bit more in a rhythm, I'm not as low on Zach Wilson as a lot of other people are. I mean, maybe it's because he's shooting his shot with his friend's mom and Tom Brady's wife, but something about this kid gives me a little spunk. I like him on the field. He's not Joe Flacco airing it out, but I mean I think he's more of a check down character, and I think against a stout defense like this, he's going to find some rhythm and some slants with guys like Garrett Wilson. Now, the reason I'm picking the Jets over Miami has nothing to do with Miami's inability. I mean, I think what Mike Daniels is a stud. I think you have a defense that's that's baller, but you also have to look at the Jets defense too. I mean, they're not spectacular, but you got some ballers out there as well. I'm pulling this one on against my better judgment, I guess I would say, and calling the Jets to win this game on a feeling. And it's really just a Giselle tweet is what it is. I think overall, the value in Breece Hall and Michael Carter is the equivalent to Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds. The quarterback play is equivalent to Teddy Bridgewater. I think the wide receivers obviously are looking better for Miami, but overall, I think the gameplay comes down to decision-making. And Teddy Bridgewater, although he's a comparable quarterback, he's not Tua. I think Zach Wilson, as the clear starter of his team, comes and wins this game.
All right. So, started off here, and so
Let's hear it, Homer.
So I'm actually gonna start off with the fantasy implications. If there's two teams I know better than any other two teams in the league, it's got to be the Jets and the Dolphins, right? So, fantasy implications: if you have a Jets running back, you put him on the bench so fast you can't even see him go to the bench. The run defense of the Miami Dolphins is stout beyond belief. If you look at this stats, regardless of Lamar Jackson taking off like never before in the Baltimore Ravens game, the run defense is amazing.
All those rush yards.
All those rush yards, but that was the quarterback. I'm telling you, running backs, they don't move. So that's the first start of it. If you've got Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle, daily fantasy, whatever you have, they're going to still air it out. They got a lot of design in that offense. Those two guys take 80% of the share of the targets in that offense. That includes running backs and tight ends. So they're going to get their just due. Which one of them gets the most points appears to be alternating. We're not quite sure. Now, it was Jalen Waddle the week before, but on that Thursday night game, it was obviously Tyreek Hill. I don't even go with the back and forth. That's fine. I don't care. Now, getting into the actual game, Vegas-wise, everyone seems to like the Jets. And I will tell you that the Las Vegas bookmakers, they're time travelers. So they've already watched this game.
They know themselves.
So what I will say to you is I truly don't want to think that the Dolphins might lose this game. But a lot of drama around the concussions. Teddy Bridgewater coming into that, trying to be the guy, all that stuff. And Zach Wilson kind of coming back. He got that win. It was ugly against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but able to get it done. I personally, is it still at 2.5? Because
it is 2.5.
I'd probably take the Jets plus 2.5 in this one, and I know we.
Interesting.
Okay. It's tough.
Okay.
It's tough on this one, but I think the Dolphins might eke it out. I'm imagining a situation where we're down 2 points somehow and we hit a last-second field goal, eke it out, move on. Fireman Ed throws his fireman hat and down. He's pissed, and they thought they had us and all that kind of stuff. Now, another scenario, we just blow them out the fucking water. The doors come off, and it's great. But there's something wrong with this one. I don't know what's wrong with it, but as a true fan, I'm not feeling good about it. Not feeling good.
Not feeling good about the Jets.
I want to
It's not a good place to be in.
The fantasy conversation, because I got some things to say, and I got a question for you guys. So, at least in my opinion on fantasy value, I like Garrett Wilson. I like the chemistry with Elijah Moore a little better. I think there's some good options. Obviously, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill I'm never going to bet against. Tight ends, I'm taking Conklin over Gesicki every day but Gesicki might get some work from Teddy Bridgewater. These are all things that seem like fair, reasonable gambles, but I feel like the most confusing and frustrating part of this game for fantasy owners is going to be Chase Edmonds versus Raheem Mostert and Michael Carter versus Breece Hall. So between these two backfields, who do you guys have, I guess, being the front runners for these teams? For me personally, I think it's Breece Hall and Raheem Mostert.
If they get more than a total of 40 yards between the two of them.
Oh, it's TD dependent.
Well,
these players for fantasy value are TD dependent. I would say that first and foremost.
If the Jets running backs have more than 40 yards combined or any TDs on the next show, I'll do 5 minutes shirtless. Because there's no fucking way.
But if you're talking TD dependent, then it's automatically Chase Edmonds, isn't it?
Automatically.
If you're talking
he's
TD
been
dependent, he's got a
all
TD
year.
the last 3 weeks he's had like a TD.
See,
right?
I think I meant that more.
And he should have actually had 2 touchdowns last week, but he dropped that receiving touchdown.
If you look at this Chase Edmonds Raheem Mostert play, it's kind of weird because I would say Chase Edmonds has been vulturing and he appears to be the lead back in the beginning of all these games, but I feel like Raheem Mostert has really been putting in the more solid running.
I don't disagree. I think Mostert is definitely the better looking back, but Edmonds is. He's a higher paid back, so he's been vulturing a lot of those touchdowns. I'm taking Edmonds. If I'm taking, I'm taking Edmonds.
I'm taking Breece Hall for the receptions personally.
I think I'm Edmonds.
Dump offs? Oh, that'd be dump offs.
All right, next game.
All right, hold on.
For the loss of yards.
Let's take a
one person do it, and then we'll disagree.
And we're back.
All right, for our next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Atlanta plus 10.5 over under at 47. They're expecting Atlanta to get a lot of points in that defense.
I'm taking this one because this is my survival pool pick. I'm taking Tampa Bay. Now that spread is pretty toxic. I'm not going to lie, but Tampa Bay. we have Tom Brady went through this divorce. I think he's actually gonna be he's gonna be focusing on this game. He is. He's got the divorce wars going on. He doesn't have to focus on the family now. He doesn't have to focus on the family. It's just football now. So I think he's gonna come out. He always puts up numbers against Atlanta. And honestly, like Godwin and Evans have been pretty quiet this season. So and even Leonard Fournette too. So I think this is just an all around showcase for Tampa Bay's offense. And
I think they'll win by 11.
I don't want to.
I don't like that. I think they'll win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
I'm thinking they're winning by 14.
I agree with everything you say, but 10's way too much for me for that crappy offense and the defense. Give me the Falcons to hopefully cover, and that's just a hopeful. Yeah.
I think Tampa Bay's winning though for
I
sure.
don't want to live in a world where Marcus Mariota beats Brady. Game pick, I got easily Tampa Bay. I mean, Mike Evans will be back. I think Chris Godwin will be healthy. I think they covered that 11 spread. If you ask me.
Interesting.
I'd take Tampa Bay to cover 2, and I think Godwin is a sneaky DraftKings pick because he's cheaper than he'll probably be all season.
Yep.
Fantasy value, Kyle Pitts owners, it's not happening.
Kyle Pitts is trash.
Time to give up.
It's time to get Will Disley off the wire.
You lost your first round draft pick. Okay.
All right, on to the next game. We got Pittsburgh at Buffalo. 1-3 Pitt.
Let's not even talk.
Do we even need to talk
3-1
about this?
Buffalo.
No.
Pittsburgh's plus 9.5. The over/under is 47.
I'll say this: if Kenny Pickett somehow wins this game, the guy's gonna win MVP.
Buffalo.
Over Zach Wilson? Come on.
I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to talk about this track. I mean, let's be honest. Bills run away with it.
At least by 10.
Mike Tomlin, good for you for thinking that, like, even with the trash quarterbacks you've been rolling out there, you thought you could still get over 500. I'm done with it. I'm done with the experiment. Pittsburgh's out. Bills are a way better team.
I'll tell you,
give me whatever spread it ends up.
I'll tell you who not to pick on fantasy, and that's Najee Harris because
Been trash.
And I'm still gonna start him this week.
Pickett had 2 rushing touchdowns.
I don't even. He had one. I didn't even know he had
2
one on my team. But okay, and then Diggs. I mean, if you, it's expensive, but man, he's gonna be worth it.
Is this a turnaround week for Gabe Davis though?
Oh, come on, man. Gabe Davis.
This guy's playing Gabe Davis.
Yeah, play Gabe Davis all you want, but the safeties over the middle. The safeties over the middle, and Steelers are good, and that's what keeps Gabe Davis down in this game. But you can't guard the outside. Straight go
if
route
you're looking
from
for
Diggs.
cheap value for someone I think might have a little pop-off ability, I'm going to go with actually George Pickens.
Oh
I think you look at Chase Claypool's inability to get open, you look at Deontay Johnson in double coverage, and you find the hottest rookie on the team with the other rookie.
Yeah, how did Chase Claypool play the whole game last week and had 0 points against the
If
Jets?
you look at
How is that fucking possible?
in just a short time that Kenny Pickett
It's also
played last
close.
week, George
What's
Pickens
his name?
got
Sauce?
like 60
Here's-
yards.
here's two-
You know
hey,
what?
Claypool-
Actually, you know what? I'm on board with that. If you really want a sneaky play, I think
Cheap-
you get. I think
cheap value.
but I think they're gonna get toasted. So
Oh,
I don't know
absolutely.
Which is gonna help, but
It's just
yeah.
more or less cheap value.
All right. On to the next game. We got Chicago Bears at Minnesota Vikings. Chicago's plus 6. Over/under is 43. What are you thinking, guys?
I think the Chicago Bears are one of the worst teams in football. In Minnesota every single day. Minnesota is having a tough time figuring
You're not a Justin
out.
Fields believer?
No, not at all. I'm not a
No question.
It might
Minnesota.
as well be the Matt Nagy offense over there remaining. You look at Minnesota
Who
struggling
did they
to get Justin
beat?
Jefferson and Dalvin
It's
Cook
2-2.
rolling to their absolute capability, and this is a gimme. Nevertheless, regardless of their struggles.
Yeah, I agree. Give me the Vikings fantasy value. Justin Jefferson came out hot out the gates. Take him
Justin
again.
Jefferson has a bounce back for sure.
Yeah, bounce back. He came out.
Well,
hot
he's
out
on a
the
good
gates.
game.
The
Now-
Bears
now-
beat the 49ers. How did that ever
Here's
happen?
real fantasy value for you here. Dalvin Cook's been bad,
Yeah.
but he's been getting the touches. So up against a defense that's starting to struggle, obviously lost faith in Fields, and Daniel Jones just tore him up on the ground. So if Daniel Jones can tear him up, give me Dalvin Cook. Good value.
One thing I will say, I don't want to hear anything from Darnell Mooney owners, but I will say the Bears do have a little bit of a run game. You still got David Montgomery out. I think Khalil Herbert might be another good cheap play this week as well.
Yeah, if you're doing daily fantasy, he could sneak in for some yards, maybe a vulture a touchdown. Yeah.
I mean, 2 tutties, 158 just 2 weeks ago, and still got substantial yards even when Montgomery was in.
Yeah.
All right, what about the next pick though? What about the next
What's
pick?
the next one?
Jacksonville versus Houston.
All right, Jacksonville, Houston.
Houston's plus 3.5. Over/under 43.5.
Look, I'm on the Jacksonville train. I think they're good. I think
They
Trevor
almost beat the
Lawrence
Eagles.
really fucking blew it last week against the Eagles, and I think the way they took it to the Chargers, I'm on board, man. Let's roll with these Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's believe for once that they maybe have their shit together. They don't have a drunk piece of shit that's grinding on co-eds as their coach anymore. So they got a former Super Bowl champion out there. He thinks he's got the stuff in line, and Trevor Lawrence has looked good. He's had a couple of tough games, but still
He can't play in the rain.
Yeah, he can't play in the rain. The ball's slippery. He's a dome guy. But, I think this one here, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars cover easy. I think we all there's no belief in the Houston Texans.
No, for sure.
I think the Houston Texans are trying their best to pretend to be relevant, but it's not really working.
Jacksonville defense is going to kill them.
Jacksonville.
I'm thinking at least one pick six that game.
Yeah,
at least one pick six.
Give me the spread on that one.
Yeah.
I'm taking Jacksonville in my keeper league.
We got to cover 4.
Fantasy value: James Robinson, Christian Kirk. Give me what's his name? Zay Jones.
Jacksonville
All good
defense.
options,
Jacksonville defense. Yeah.
If you're hopeful
Jacksonville
for somebody in the
defense.
Texans, the only guy I got for you is Dameon Pierce and maybe
He has been doing good.
Damian Pierce has been playing decent.
Don't do either.
If you're hopeful, I would strongly advise against.
On to the next game, we got the LA Chargers at the Cleveland Browns. LA -1.5.
Okay.
With the over under of 48.
That's
Anthony?
it. That's it against the Jacobys. Man.
It looks serviceable. I mean, are they going to
2
be
points.
the Chargers?
Against Cleveland. You know what? One
Chargers
thing about
in-
Cleveland is they like to lose at home. So
Well, and the Chargers, they're really
Doghouse.
they're scaring me with the injuries.
Yeah, it's
Offensive
creepy.
lines out, defensive
Defense
lines
looks
out.
good, too.
Their safeties, the cornerback, that J.C. Jackson they brought in, he's hurt. So, Jacoby Brissett, man, that guy's not going to do anything amazing, but he's not going to lose a game for you. And so I think this is going to be close. I think the line is pretty accurate, but give me the Chargers. Yeah.
No, for sure, Chargers.
I'm
over
the
that.
same
I'm
mindset. I think
Chargers.
the Cleveland keeps it close. I think Cleveland's playing to a level that they only wish they could play with Baker. And I think the Chargers right now, they're starting to figure it out with Eckler a little more. And when you have one of the more dominant running backs in the league, you finally learn to give them the ball, they'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say without Joey Bosa, Cleveland runs it all day long.
Yeah,
Show
if
me
you-
Ends
the
up
man.
taking the victory against the Chargers, and Cleveland's got some stout linemen, so maybe they're not able to run against them.
It's a tight game.
So
I believe.
fantasy
And
wise,
Keenan Allen, I think, will still
are
be
you
out.
looking at Chubb and Hunt in the fantasy?
I'm looking more at Chubb.
I'm looking at Eckler.
I would look at Chubb
I'm looking at Eckler
and
all day.
I don't know, probably Mike Williams. I mean, I think Keenan Allen will still be out and he'll get a lot of targets.
How do we feel about wide receivers?
Well,
You got any
also-
Amari Cooper love in the show? What's going on?
I mean, Amari Cooper's definitely been playing real well. He's been playing well.
But with Jacoby Brissett thrown to him,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I
fair
think
too.
it's just
No Jalen Guyton, though, on the Chargers side anymore, so I think Mike Williams is a good pick.
If
too.
yeah,
Keenan
Mike
Allen-
Williams is a lot of value.
Yeah.
If Keenan Allen's out, I'm still pulling Mike Williams with Keenan Allen in.
Well, I mean, even though Eckler's still that receiving back too, so
True.
I think Eckler still has. I mean, he's expensive.
But
But
Cleveland
good
defense is
enough.
good
Keenan
enough
Allen plays. I'm going Keenan Allen.
to hold him down. All right, next game is gonna be Seattle Seahawks at New Orleans Saints. Seahawks +6.
Ooh.
Give me Gino. Yeah, I'll say it.
Is
I'll be the first to
Winston
say
is
it.
Winston playing this game?
Nope.
It
It's
doesn't
gonna be the old
It's gonna be Andy Dalton.
engine red, baby.
And Seahawks are
Red
+6.
Give me Gino. Gino has honestly been playing to the level that only me and Pete Carroll expected him to play at, and I've been pleasant.
I heard something today that say he had the highest QBR in the league right now.
Yeah, Gino is playing.
And passing percentage. He's also the first quarterback
That's insane.
out
Geno's
of they made a list of it was like Tom Brady and like all these like goats of the game that have ever won a game after giving up 40 points.
And what's crazy to me about this whole, this Geno love this year is that he's doing so much better than Russell Wilson with the same roster, and it's because one simple piece of logic here. He actually learned to throw the football to DK fucking Metcalf. I mean, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
It really is all it takes.
Well, it's like Teddy Bridgewater throwing a
Run
Tyreek
game
Hill.
is
Come on, just throw
serviceable.
it.
You have great wide receivers. You have they
Let
got
him
the
make
Will
plays.
Disley love. I'm taking Geno in this.
Yeah, I'm taking
Yeah.
Seahawks as well to cover at least.
Saints defense
Yeah.
is great, but
To
I just
cover,
think it's enough.
Seattle.
Yeah,
for sure.
cover for sure. But if you're looking for fantasy value, find yourself some Andy Dalton, baby. That Seahawks defense got toasted last week. It's been toasted by everybody but the Broncos, and the Broncos look like hot horse garbage, man.
Fantasy value.
And what's that?
Go
Olave
get it.
they got?
Go get a piece of
Olave.
Get a lot of
Minnesota.
targets.
Jarvis
Olave's a
Landry.
good
No,
one.
no Jarvis Landry or Michael Thomas this week, possibly. They're both
Jarvis
still
Landry?
questionable, and they're both still.
Oh, I'd definitely go Olave.
Take the Olave, Andy
Olave.
Dalton train, baby. Let's talk 4 touchdowns for Andy D and 3
Hard
for
passing out
Olave.
to Kamara, though. I don't care who's the
Yeah,
defense
Kamara's
goes in.
done.
Kamara is
Kamara's-
just playing dust this season.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next game. We got the San Francisco 49ers against Carolina Panthers at Carolina. San Fran -2.5. I think versus that Carolina offense, the defense is going to eat because Baker Mayfield is trash. Even if they had Sam Darnold, got no chance. San Fran defense going to score more points than Carolina offense. Over-under is 39.5.
All right, well, the 39.5 is a joke of a line when you talk about what Vegas sets, but don't you dare take the over. You'll kill yourself.
You're taking the over.
But what I will say about this, absolutely the 49ers. Mirror your image there. I'm telling you, Baker Mayfield is booty. I am not talking about General Booty.
Not
who is
General
an
Booty.
Amazing new quarterback coming into
to DJ
Oklahoma,
Moore. Find yourself a new team.
The General Booty, he's going to be great. But this version of an Oklahoma quarterback, this Booty Baker, is gotta go. He is terrible. When you're talking about wanting Sam Darnold over somebody, things have gone horribly.
I think they would be better with Sam Darnold, too.
Yeah.
And not to mention, Jimmy G competing with Cooper Rush for one of the more serviceable backup QB spots in the league.
And that smile.
Yeah, I think I take the Niners all day in this. I got some Debo love for this game. It's a huge game for Debo, if you ask me.
Yeah. If you got Debo play.
Oh, we're making this a cover 4, ain't it?
Oh,
it's a cover 4. Let's do it.
Cover 4.
San Fran all the way. They're just going to eat. Their defense is going to kill Carolina.
Yep.
All right, next pick.
We got Philadelphia going to Arizona to play the Cardinals. Philadelphia +2.
Ooh.
Over under 48.5, so I expect it to be a very high scoring game.
Give me Philly. Not even just because Philly's looking good, but also because I've watched a lot of these games, and I don't care what happened against the Raiders. The Cardinals look bad. The decision making, it's not even the Cardinals. Some of the wide receivers and the running backs are really fighting for the plays. It is Kyler Murray and his questionable decision making that makes me easily hand this to the Eagles. And the fact that the Eagles have been playing lights out is just a bonus.
So we got ourselves another time traveler game here, because in fucking no world should the Cardinals be favored.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So Vegas has already watched this game. The odds makers know it. They're drawing you into their trap. They know what they're doing. They're smarter than us. So give me the Cardinals solely on the fact that I have no idea why the fuck the line is set right.
I'm taking the Cardinals as well. I think it's going to be Philadelphia's best test so far, and I think they've barely squeaked out a couple victories against the Jaguars and the Lions, and Arizona's a better team. I feel like they're getting better each week because they didn't perform up to standards at the beginning. But Kyler Murray's starting to get pissed off, and he's starting to do Kyler Murray things. I think he's gonna pull a victory.
I think Anthony. I think you're trying to convince Alex right now that you're not a homer by choosing Philly in this game. Arizona all the way. Come on, give it to me.
No,
I think Marquise Hollywood Brown is going to go off. Kyler Murray's going to be throwing to him. I mean, he's been getting targeted out the ass. I'm being completely honest. Like 13 targets. Marquise Brown fantasy value is going to be great. I'm taking Arizona because this is really Philly's first test, and I already said it earlier in this podcast that really their first loss is going to be this week, and then it's going to be again against the Cowboys. Yep. So I think they have 2 losses in a row. So I'm taking Arizona on this game.
All right, down to the last game. We got the Las Vegas Raiders visiting Kansas City Chiefs.
Come on.
Las Vegas +6, over under 50.5. There's going to be no defense play in this game is what Vegas is saying.
All right, so let me start on this, because this is going to be a constant in this podcast right here. Fuck the Raiders. I'm done.
Yeah, that's it.
You guys can go.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, Josh Jacobs owners, you'll probably get some good points, and that's about the only production I see coming from this Raiders game. I think Kansas City steals this game, and it's not even close.
This Monday Night Showdown, I feel like, will be all offense, no defense. Obviously, Vegas feels the same way. I'm taking all the fantasy players in this game and putting them all in my lineup. I don't care who they are. They're all going to get touchdowns. There's going to be so many touchdowns.
It's crazy. I'm a little different. I don't feel like it's going to be spread out amongst the ball. I feel like it's going to be Travis Kelce alone just eating this week.
Everybody that plays is going to get some points. I'm probably...
Like the over? 52.
I definitely like the over.
If this was the Raiders last year,
I think I'm gonna go with the little surprise pick. I think the Raiders will keep it close enough to cover the spread.
But
I think Casey will win.
Cover 4.
Nah, I'm gonna switch it up. Vegas is desperate, very desperate.
Oh, I think Vegas is too desperate.
They got the
and
mob
you
on
already,
their side.
You already know how I feel about this because they're my terminally ill team. And I think Vegas. I don't think it's gonna be even a close game. I think Casey's gonna
Devontae
come
Adams
out.
gonna have at least 2 touchdowns.
No. I think Juju comes out and he actually has a game.
Oh,
I think Juju's gonna
all
come out and have
there's
a
some
game.
value there on the fantasy. If Juju has a good game.
Juju probably gonna fumble the ball at least once.
All right. Well, he's gonna do so dancing on the logo. Okay. So, but I do think Casey's gonna come out and win this one.
I think this is a more of a Isaiah Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Travis Kelce kind of game, if you ask me.
That's great for my fantasy team. All right. Well, anyway, so that's all the games here. Dawson, what do you think, baby? Good day. Good week.
No, this is great, and you'll see us next week. This is Cover 4 Sports, where the 4 of us cover sports. So we appreciate you. See you next time.
See you soon.
Cool. Now I gotta go before I get divorced.
All right.
We'll cut that out.
Tom Brady.
See you later, Alex.
Yeah.